And across to Paul Murray in Dallas in just a moment. But first, let's have a look at this explainer from Fox News' Bill Hammer on how close the election could be in the race for 270 Electoral College votes and why Pennsylvania could be the state to watch.
So in the Southwest, we've been watching the polling in Arizona, watching the early vote as well, and we see some Republican strength out there. So I'll go ahead and give Arizona to Trump. And that brings us to Nevada. Similar story. Early vote's been very strong for the Republicans. Democrats, they've got time to catch up. But for now, let's go ahead and give Nevada 6 electoral votes to Team Trump. And that leaves this one right here. This is the keystone state of Pennsylvania, 19 electoral votes. And under this scenario, however it comes down, will determine the next president of the United States.
There we go. Let's see what happens. Let's go to Paul Murray live from Dallas, Texas. Good to talk to you, big fella. You'll be very excited as you're watching all this coming in. I've been saying for such a long time it all could come down to Pennsylvania. That's the sort of scenario we've just had laid out there. But there's some late polling suggesting maybe Kamala Harris is doing better in seats that weren't thought of as swing states like Iowa. What's your read in the ground and from the polls?
Yeah, look, at the very heart of all of this, everyone needs to know the polls were really wrong in 16. They were even worse in 2020. So when we're talking about these margins of, 51-49, 51-49, 51-49, yes, that means the margin could be Trump blowout or Harris blowout, OK?
Exactly.
That's for the people that are going to report us to the referee. For everyone else who's actually just interested in what's taking place here. Now, Trump has more paths to that magical 270. Put simply, if you think about the states, think of them like a clock. The blue wall up in the top there, Harris must win all 3. Trump wins 1, he wins the presidency. If Harris can knock off North Carolina, and then she would be able to maybe lose 1 of the 3, but it's pretty unlikely. North Carolina is something that Trump was able to hold on to while he was being flushed out of office in 2020. You go across to Georgia, where Biden blew Trump away. Now, the expectation is that because he stitched things up with the governor, he'll be able to hold on to that state. Arizona, which kind of went the never-Trumper route after the death of John McCain, that's coming back to Trump. And in the early vote, the Republicans are leading in Nevada. The weird factor that I need to get to inside all of this is the disparity between male and female vote. It's basically the same as it was 4 years ago, with the Democrats way in front with women, the Republicans more way in front with men. The difference this time is that there are more men voting, more younger men voting, more African-American and Hispanic men that are going to be voting. So I think the absolute X factor here, though, is women over 65. Now, generally speaking, people over 55 go a little more conservative around the world. However, the behaviour of Trump in many ways can turn some of those people off. Now, in some states, so say like a North Carolina, there is a significant population over the age of 55. So we'll know pretty early, but basically what you need to watch for is the blue wall. If Trump is outperforming Harris, he's probably going to win the election. If North Carolina starts to wobble, Harris might be on her way.
Now, I talked at the top of the program about the genius of Trump and the way he uses outrage to get the mainstream media talking about issues they like to ignore. But explain to me the point of this one.
And I have this piece of glass here, but all we have really over here is the fake news, right? To get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news. And I don't mind that so much, because I don't mind.
Paul, is that just him having a bit of what he would call fun, or is he trying to draw attention still to the media bias?
I think he's talking about the media bias. I think his past 24 hours on the campaign trail have been pretty terrible, right? Now, I want Trump to win. I look for the ways for him to win, but I'm not going to be unrealistic. That he had a really bad day yesterday. He was low energy. He went all over the shop. He didn't talk about the things that he is absolutely leading on. The economy, still #1 issue with everyone. Talking about immigration, #1 issue with men. Instead, it was about the paper ballots in 2020, the fake news. And look, the media is disgraceful, the way that they take a comment which is clearly about something else and then deliberately try to use 4 words in the sentence to say that it proves something else. I think your theory's right, though, which is even when he gets onto this so-called sticky paper, the people who love him more, but it means they mention things they don't want to mention, like immigration and all the rest of it. But I'm not, you know, as Richo wouldn't defend Stephen Miles's concession speech, I will not defend Trump on that garbage.
But before I let you go, though, I've got to show you what Kamala Harris has been up to. On the weekend, she was on Saturday Night Live. I mean, it's painful to watch. I'm going to have to share it with everyone, though.
Now, Kamala, take my Pamela. The American people want to stop the chaos
and end the drama
with a cool new stepmamala. Kick back in our pajamas and watch a rom Kamala.
like Legally Blondula.
And start decorating for Christmas. Fa la 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 la. Because what do we always say? Keep Kamala and carry on a la.
Oh, dear, I don't know which one I'd be most frightened of having in the White House.
Okay, at what point in my life do I get that 30 seconds back, all right? Like, you know, when I'm on my deathbed, I'm going to pick up my phone and just say, hey, Chris, just
Bugger
1 second,
Kenny.
mate. I'm going to hold on for 30 more seconds because you made me sit through that garbage. Look, she's good, of course, at that stuff because she's a performer, and by that she's an actress. We all know what she really is, which is the hardcore leftist who's pretending that she's not. She's literally not saying what she voted in certain propositions, referendums that are taking place in California. But a little note for those who like to follow their comedy. It's a rip-off of a gag that was done by Jimmy Fallon when he was sitting opposite Donald Trump. And that was a rip-off of when it was Mitt Romney and Jimmy Fallon. So nothing original in this election.
Nothing new in politics. Thanks for staying up for us, mate. Have a great show. Paul will be back live at 9 o'clock from Dallas. And, of course, all over the coverage throughout the rest of the week.